The marketplace is an exciting place, full of opportunities, but also full of demands. To succeed, you've got to prepare yourself. Preparation isn't just a one-time thing. It's a lifelong process. The reason many of us are doing well today is because we spent time in the past getting ready. You don't just stumble into success. You spend this year getting ready for next year. You spend the 80s preparing for the 90s. Life is a series of seasons, and each season demands its share of preparation. If you don't take the time to prepare, the opportunities will pass you by. Now, part of preparation is developing your skills. Skills are your tools in the marketplace. The better your tools, the more valuable you become. But here's the key. Success in the marketplace begins with personal development. You've got to work on yourself first. Self-improvement, making measurable progress, and becoming better than you were yesterday. That's where it all starts. Personal development isn't easy. It's a push, a struggle, and sometimes an uphill climb. But isn't that what makes it worthwhile? There's no victory without a challenge. If I walked across the football field and placed the ball in the end zone with no opposition, nobody would call it a touchdown. But when you face challenges, when you go up against those 260-pounders and make it through, that's when the world calls you a winner. That's when you've accomplished something. And that's how life works. It's about the challenge. It's about seeing what you can create, what you can contribute, and how much value you can bring to the table. The marketplace rewards value. The more valuable you become, the more you can earn. Not just financially, but in terms of fulfillment and satisfaction. But here's the truth you need to remember. New habits aren't easy to develop. Change isn't easy, especially if you've been moving in one direction for a long time. But it is possible. You can change, you can grow, you can improve. And that's the beauty of life. It's not fixed, you're not stuck. But you've got to put in the effort. Success, someone once said, is 10% inspiration and 90% perspiration. It's about reading the books, learning the skills, doing the work, and putting in the hours. Inspiration can get you started, but discipline keeps you going. Motivation is great, but it's action. Consistent, disciplined action. That makes the difference. You've got to do the push-ups, take the classes, and go through the repetitions until the new skills become second nature. That's how you build equity in yourself. That's how you determine your worth in the marketplace. Now, let me give you 3 keys for personal development. Spiritual, physical, and mental. First, the spiritual side. Humans are unique. We're not just advanced animals. We have something special, something spiritual. That sets us apart. I don't claim to be an expert here, but I'll tell you this. Study it, explore it, nurture that part of yourself. Whether it's through reading, reflection, or other practices, develop the spiritual side of your nature. It's a worthwhile pursuit. Second, the physical side. Here's a simple principle. Treat your body like a temple, not a woodshed. Your body is the only place you've got to live. Take care of it. Eat well, exercise, rest. When you feel good physically, you walk into the marketplace with confidence. You carry yourself differently. And that confidence matters. Third one, the mental side. The mind and body work together, so give attention to both. Feed your mind with good ideas, challenge it with new knowledge, and stretch it with big goals. Read, think, and learn. The more you expand your mind, the more valuable you become. Not just to yourself, but to everyone around you. My mentor, Earl Showoff, got me hooked on the idea of good nutrition. Now, my parents, my dad's 82 and my mom's 75, have been what you might call health nuts. They've paid strict attention to their health for years. And let me tell you, the payoff has been incredible. My dad's 82 and still setting goals like he's got another 20 years ahead of him. And why not? Both of my parents are still working hard, tackling projects, and even dealing with tax problems. Now think about that. Tax problems at 82. That's not a bad problem to have, is it? Here's the lesson. If you want to do well physically, you've got to start paying attention. Good nutrition is a key piece of that puzzle. Read the books, do the research, and figure out a plan that works for you. Sure, there's a lot of conflicting advice out there. Some of it's downright strange, especially in California where I'm from. But you don't have to follow the weird stuff unless you're feeling particularly weird yourself. The point is, find what makes sense for you and stick to it. Your body will thank you. Now, along with good nutrition comes exercise. A solid exercise program is essential for taking care of yourself physically. But there's more to it than just how you feel. There's how you look. Your physical appearance matters, especially in the marketplace. Whether it's your job, your business, or your community, how you present yourself plays a role in how others respond to you. Here's a little wisdom from the Bible. God looks on the inside. People look on the outside. Now, isn't that a great balance? You take care of the inside for God. That's your character, your spirit. But you also take care of the outside for people because whether we like it or not, people judge what they see. They're not going to wait to get to know you before forming an opinion. They'll start with what's right in front of them. So don't base your life on how things should be. Base it on how things are. Take care of your appearance. Be neat, be presentable, and put your best foot forward. Sure, once people get to know you, they'll see more than just the outside, but first impressions matter. Don't let a careless appearance hold you back. Now, here's an idea to keep you balanced. Be conscious of self, but not self-conscious. It's good to be aware of yourself, to take care of how you look and how you show up. But don't obsess over it. Some people worry so much about their appearance that it becomes a distraction. They spend so much time thinking about how they look that they lose focus on what really matters. So, here's the key. Take care of it, and then let it go. Do the best you can, and then trust that it's enough. Show up well, but don't get so caught up in your appearance that it holds you back. Be conscious, but not self-conscious. That's the sweet spot. The next part of personal development, the mind. It's all about stretching your thinking, exercising your mental muscles, and building the habits that lead to success. I like to call it mind stretch. Part of your growth, whether it's here at Arizona State or anywhere else in life, comes from challenging your thinking. You develop good study habits, learn to process ideas, and figure out how to apply what you've learned to human behavior on the marketplace in your future. That takes deliberate effort. It's not something that happens by accident. One way to stretch your mind is by feeding it properly. You can't grow on mental candy alone. Sure, a little entertainment here and there is fine, but if that's all you consume, you'll end up malnourished intellectually. Instead, you need a full range of mental food. Things that challenge you, expand your thinking, and force you to grow. That's the essence of mind stretch. And part of your education here is to tackle things that others might shy away from. Maybe it's a difficult subject, a challenging book, or an idea that seems complex at first. But here's the key. Don't let difficulty scare you off. The willingness to take on tough challenges is what sets you apart in the marketplace. While others might take the easy road, you're developing skills and knowledge that will give you an edge. You see, if you always avoid what seems difficult, you're leaving yourself unprepared. The tough stuff, the heavyweight challenges, that's where growth happens. And here's the secret. Once you dive in, you might find it's not as hard as you thought. One skill builds on another, and before long, you're mastering things you once thought were out of reach. Another part of mind stretch is learning to see the other side of the argument. Whether it's politics, religion, economics, or any other topic, don't be afraid to explore perspectives that are different from your own. If you want to be a good thinker, a good debater, and a good decision maker, you've got to understand both sides. Here's why. When you know the other side of the argument, you're stronger. You're not afraid of it because you've studied it. And sometimes you'll even find that the other side has a good point. That's okay. Give credit where it's due. You don't have to agree with someone to acknowledge that they've made a valid argument. I'll give you an example. I was in Canada once listening to someone take a very liberal position, something completely opposite of my rugged individualism philosophy. And the guy made a good point. He said, "Every man for himself," said the elephant as he danced among the chickens. Now, I didn't agree with his overall argument, but I had to admit that was a pretty good point. Now let's go to the next part of personal development. Building your personal development library. This is something Mr. Schaff introduced me to when I was 25. He knew I'd missed out on most of my college education, but instead of letting that hold me back, he gave me a powerful piece of advice I've never forgotten. Be self-educated. He told me education doesn't stop when you leave college. It's a lifetime process. And he was right. The best way to grow, to increase your value in the marketplace, and to make a meaningful contribution to your family, community, and career is to commit to ongoing learning. That's how you move into the higher levels of income, the higher brackets of performance, and the higher satisfaction of life. Schoaf said something that stuck with me. Standard education gets you standard results. He challenged me to think beyond the average, beyond the acceptable. Why not become extraordinary? Why not master high-level skills that put you in a league of your own? That challenge changed my life. I realized there was so much more to life than just getting a job and doing my best. I wanted to aim higher, develop extraordinary abilities, and see what kind of life they could create. Now, if you want to grow, you need a personal development library that's well-rounded. It can't just be a collection of self-help and motivational books. That's like trying to live on dessert. It's nice, but it's not enough. Your library should be like the pantry in your kitchen, balanced and stocked with the full range of mental nourishment. But don't stop at self-help. Expand your library to include geography, language, and even the basics of law. By law. Because in today's world, almost everything has legal implications. We all need to know what to sign and what not to sign. Contracts, agreements, guarantees, they're everywhere. Let me share a costly lesson I learned. Years ago, a company I trusted needed a loan. The bank agreed to lend them money, but only if I signed a personal guarantee. I believed in the company, so I signed. They paid the loan back and everything was fine. But a year later, they borrowed the same amount again, without my involvement this time. Or so I thought. When the company went bankrupt, I got a letter from the bank asking me to pay $250,000. I was shocked. I hadn't signed for the second loan. But what I didn't realize was that my original signature was on a continuing guarantee. That one little word, continuing, cost me dearly. I learned the hard way to read everything carefully and understand exactly what I'm signing. So here's my advice. Take the time to learn the fundamentals of law. You don't have to be an attorney, but you do need to protect yourself. Knowing what you're agreeing to can save you from expensive mistakes, like the one I made. Building your library isn't just about books. It's about building skills and awareness that help you navigate life with confidence. Fill your library with books that challenge you, inspire you, and equip you for success. And remember, learning doesn't stop when you leave school. It's a lifetime process. Keep growing, keep learning, and keep striving for that extraordinary edge. Let me walk you through a few essential steps to success in personal development. These steps are simple, practical, and transformational if you commit to them. Success isn't magic, it's the result of consistent effort and a clear plan. So let's dive in. Ideas are where it all begins. They're the seeds that grow into a better life, better business, better relationships. Someone once said, "Nothing is as powerful as an idea whose time has come." And that's true. Timely, well-placed ideas can change everything. So become a seeker of ideas. Whether it's a business strategy, a new approach to health, or a way to deepen your relationships, never stop looking. Here's a tip. Keep a journal. Don't just let good ideas float by. Capture them. Write them down. I used to jot ideas on scraps of paper, but I found it hard to organize them. Then I started keeping journals, and it's been a game changer. A journal becomes an extension of your library, a place to store, reflect on, and revisit the ideas that could shape your future. There are treasures we leave behind, and one of them is pictures. Take lots of pictures. Photos give us the ability to freeze a moment in time, a memory we can pass on to the next generation. Imagine how much richer our history would be if our ancestors had the tools we have today. So don't take this gift for granted. Capture the moments that matter. The next step is understanding the power of plans. Ideas are just dreams unless you turn them into action. Plans are the bridge between what you imagine and what you achieve. A well-thought-out plan turns an idea into reality. Without a plan, even the best ideas stay stuck on the drawing board. Disciplined activity is what makes plans work. Wealth and success don't come from wishful thinking. They come from deliberate, consistent action based on a solid plan. If you're not where you want to be by a certain age, it's not because the opportunity wasn't there. It's because there wasn't a plan. A good plan, executed consistently, can turn an average income into wealth over time. For example, if someone starts at age 12 or 15 with a simple wealth plan and sticks to it, they could be financially independent by age 40 or 45. The key is learning the art of planning early. If you're not where you want to be, don't get discouraged. Just start now. The future is built one plan, one action, one day at a time. Now, the next part of the formula for success. One of the critical aspects is learning how to handle the passing of time. Time is one of life's biggest challenges. It's always moving forward, and how we manage it determines our results. Patience plays a huge role here. The waiting game between planting the seed and harvesting the crop can be tough. Imagine planting in the spring, but by summer, creditors are knocking on your door, and you're out there in the field yelling, grow, crop, grow. But the truth is, you can't rush nature. You have to wait for the process to unfold. Americans in particular need to master patience because we live in a fast-paced, push-button society where we expect everything instantly. But success often requires learning to wait, letting the seasons do their work while you keep faith in the process. The next step in the formula is solving problems. Simply put, success is about solving problems. Whether they're business, family, financial, or personal problems are part of life. Everyone has a list of problems. The difference is that successful people, including the wealthy, simply deal with bigger or more complex problems. Problem solving is the foundation of enterprise, wealth, and progress. It's where value is created. Take Neil Armstrong as an example. When I met him, he shared something profound yet simple. His experience of being the first man on the moon boiled down to solving problems. Problem 1, how to get there. Problem 2, how to get back. Straightforward, right? But his advice was clear. Don't start until you've solved both problems. Even complicated challenges can be tackled if you break them down into smaller pieces. Solve one piece at a time, put them together, and eventually you'll have built something incredible. A life, a business, a skill set, or even a dream. Now, here's a powerful tip that changed my approach. Learn to solve problems on paper. Writing things down forces clarity and focus. If you keep everything in your head, it's easy to make mistakes. For example, you wouldn't build a house straight from your imagination. You'd take the vision in your head, put it on paper, refine it, and then work from the blueprint. Problem solving works the same way. Start with a blank sheet of paper. Divide it in half. On one side, outline the problem in detail. Don't just think about it, write it down. Describe it fully and ask yourself, is that all of it? The goal isn't to dwell on the problem, but to define it clearly. Because until you define the problem, you can't begin to solve it. Many top executives and high achievers swear by this method. Putting problems on paper helps you concentrate, identify solutions, and take effective action. So don't just wrestle with problems in your mind. Commit them to paper, dissect them, and work through them systematically. This practice alone can transform how you approach challenges and lead to breakthroughs you never imagined. Let's dive into the framework for solving problems, starting with 3 powerful questions that form the foundation for finding solutions. These questions guide you step by step, allowing you to approach problems logically and methodically. The first question to ask is, what could I do to solve the problem? Start by brainstorming solutions, and this is where working papers come in handy. Working papers are essentially a list of potential solutions. Write them down, no matter how rough or unpolished they are. For example, list out 3 possible solutions. Solution 1 might seem promising. Solution 2 might have too many unknowns. Solution 3 might take too much time. Once you have these possibilities on paper, go back and analyze them. Often your initial gut instinct might be the best option, but studying them further ensures you choose wisely. Writing down your thoughts is the first step to clarity and focus. If brainstorming on your own doesn't lead to a breakthrough, move on to the second question. What could I read? Somewhere out there, someone may have faced a similar problem and documented their insights. Go to the library, browse online, or dive into books, articles, or videos. You might find a whole section dedicated to your challenge. As you read, assess what you're learning. Not every resource will make sense or resonate, and that's okay. Some ideas might even seem absurd or irrelevant. But the process of reading and analyzing builds your understanding and adds new perspectives. The third question is, who could I ask? Now, while it's crucial to seek advice, here's the key. Don't ask first. Resist the urge to immediately run to someone for help. Why? Because the process of working through problems on your own develops your skills. And skills are far more valuable than any single solution. Solutions provide temporary relief. Skills equip you for life. So ask after you've exhausted your own efforts, after you've brainstormed and researched. When you do seek guidance, you'll approach the conversation informed and prepared, which leads to better advice. With those problem-solving questions in mind, let's expand into the critical abilities that enhance your problem-solving prowess. These are 5 core abilities that, when mastered, will empower you in any field or endeavor. The first ability is the power to absorb. This means becoming like a sponge, soaking in information, experiences, and insights wherever you are. Many people struggle with this because it's easy to get distracted or let your mind wander. But the key is to stay present. A great phrase one once read in Reader's Digest sums it up. Wherever you are, be there. Concentration is essential. Even in sports, the tiniest lapse in focus can cost you the championship. The same applies to life. Success often hinges on your ability to absorb and stay fully engaged. I have a wealthy friend who exemplifies this perfectly. When he travels, he doesn't just see the sights. He takes in every detail. The smells, the sounds, the colors, the people, the ambience. His mind captures it all like a movie camera. When he shares his experiences, it's like you're there with him. You can hear the waves, taste the food, and see the vibrant scenery through his words. His ability to absorb and express what he's experienced is a remarkable skill. And it's a skill worth cultivating, both to enrich your own life and to share what you've learned with others. Let me give you a thought to ponder. Most people are just trying to get through the day. That's their goal. Just make it to the end. But I've got a better idea for you. Don't just get through the day, get from the day. Every day is a treasure chest of lessons, experiences, and opportunities waiting for you to open. It's not just a block of time to endure. It's a piece of the grand mosaic of your life. Treat it with care, curiosity, and respect. Start asking yourself, how much can I learn from this day? How much can I gather? Ideas, insights, moments of joy or clarity to enrich my life. Every conversation, every challenge, and even the smallest detail can add to your equity of mind, your personal worth, and your emotional wealth. But only if you choose to see it that way. Here's the next step. Develop the skill of response. Life isn't just about what happens to you, it's about how you react to it. Success doesn't come from knowledge alone. It comes from your ability to let that knowledge stir something inside you. It's not just about collecting experiences, but allowing those experiences to move you, shape you, and sometimes even break you open. Let me say this, if something is sad, let it make you sad. If something is beautiful, let it move you. Let yourself laugh, cry, feel confused, and wrestle with the hard stuff. Be present enough to respond to life in all its forms. That's where the richness is. Let me tell you about myself. I'm the best guy to take to a movie. Why? Because I let it affect me. A great movie with good dialogue and a strong story will take me on a journey. I forget everything else and immerse myself in the experience. That's what I'm asking you to do in life. Immerse yourself in the experience. I'll give you an example. I was in Melbourne, Australia, and I saw an ad. See Dr. Zhivago on the big screen. Now, I'd already seen the movie half a dozen times, but I thought, this is different. The big screen, a proper theater. So I went. And once again, I was swept up in the drama of the Russian Revolution and the story of love and loss. But this time, something hit me that I had missed before. At the end of the movie, there's this scene where Comrade General asks Tanya, how did you come to be lost? And she finally admits, my father let go of my hand, and I was lost. And then the general says something profound. If your real father, Dr. Zhivago, had been there, he would never have let go of your hand. And I got it. I really got it. The other times I must have been too distracted, maybe eating popcorn, waiting for the movie to end. But that day I let it hit me. I let the lesson sink in. Here's the point. Don't miss life's moments. Don't just watch the movie of your life unfold while you're distracted by the small stuff. Get it. Let it touch you. Let it change you. Build your emotional bank account with moments of meaning, moments of response, moments that shape your soul. Because life will give you treasures every day, but only if you're willing to see them and let them in. That's how you grow. That's how you succeed. Let's talk about number 3, reflect. Reflection is a way to get more value out of what you know and what you've been through. It's about pausing to go back over your experiences and letting them teach you all over again. Reflection turns your past into a treasure trove of lessons for your future. Here's the key. Set aside time to reflect. At the end of the day, take just a few minutes. Find a quiet place, get alone, and think through your day. Ask yourself, where did I go? What did I see? What did I learn? How did I feel? Relive the moments, both good and bad. You'll find that what you just experienced becomes more valuable when you go back over it. Take it further. Spend an hour or two at the end of the week. Look back at the week's choices, actions, and interactions. At the end of the month, maybe a half day to review where you're headed. And at the end of the year, take a weekend. Reflecting at these intervals adds layers of value to your life, much like enhancing the colors in a photograph. Why do this? To make your past more useful. To sharpen the lessons, clarify the feelings, and extract the wisdom. This isn't just reminiscing, it's about investing your past into your future. Think of it like this. Every time you reflect, you're gathering the wealth of your experiences, preparing to spend it wisely in the days to come. I'll share a personal story. When my father was about to turn 76, I said to him, Dad, imagine how exciting it will be to take all 75 years of your life and invest them in your 76th year. He smiled, and I knew he understood. That's the magic of reflection. Using all you've been through to make your next step richer and more meaningful. Now let's move to number 4. Act. Knowledge, reflection, and feelings are powerful, but they're useless without action. Action is where ideas come to life. It's the bridge between what you dream and what you achieve. But here's the catch. It's not just about action. It's about disciplined action. The kind of action that's intentional and consistent. That's what turns ideas into enterprises, dreams into reality, and potential into success. Without it, all your ideas and plans are like seeds left in a drawer. No growth, no life. Sometimes the actions you need to take aren't big or dramatic. They're small, intelligent changes to your daily routines. Imagine this, draw a dot on a piece of paper. That's where you are today. Now imagine 2 different lines leading from that dot. In 10 years, those lines will be far apart, even if the difference at the start is barely noticeable. That's the power of small, consistent disciplines. Ask yourself this. 10 years from now, I will arrive somewhere. Where will it be? The choices and actions you make today are setting that course. If you don't like the direction you're heading, Now is the time to fix it. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now. Sophisticated people understand this. What you do each day matters. The books you read, the conversations you have, the actions you take, they're all steering your ship. The question is, are you steering it toward where you want to go? Disciplines create value. Disciplined action around learning, health, wealth, and culture will shape your future. Ideas alone won't do it. Reflection alone won't do it. But ideas put into disciplined action. Now that's where success is born. So start now. Take action, stay disciplined, and let the momentum carry you toward the life you want to build. Now, here's number 5. Number 5 is develop the ability to share. Sharing is one of the most powerful and uniquely human abilities we possess. It's extraordinary because it seems counterintuitive at first. When you share something, you might think you'll have less. But the truth is, sharing enlarges you. It increases your capacity. It's a paradox. By giving, you gain. Think about love. If you have one child and love them with all your heart, what happens when a second child comes along? Do you have to divide your love in half? No. From some mysterious place within you, your capacity to love grows. The more you give, the more you have to give. That's the magic of sharing. One of the most impactful ways to share is through the gift of language. The ability to communicate, truly communicate, is a skill that will serve you in every area of life. But like any skill, it takes practice and refinement. You can't share what you don't know. Before you speak, make sure you've done your homework. Study, learn, and absorb information so that when you talk, your words have substance. Think of speaking like writing a check. You need to make sure there's something in the account before you write it. And here's where real power comes in. When your words are just the tip of the iceberg of all you know, that depth creates confidence and authenticity. People can tell when you've done the work. So start there. Have something valuable to say. Once you have something to share, learn to say it in a way that captivates and inspires. Language is power when it's structured, intentional, and full of life. Winston Churchill, for example, didn't just speak words. He sent them into battle. His speeches gave strength and hope to millions because of the way he crafted and delivered them. The good news is you can develop this skill too. Practice your tone, your style, and your structure. Find your unique voice and let your words carry the weight of your intention. And next, learn to read your audience. Pay attention to their reactions, their body language, and their energy. Communication is a two-way street. It's not just about saying what you want. It's about connecting. I had to learn this myself. Early on, I was so focused on what I was saying that I didn't notice if the audience was still with me. Over time, I learned to look up, to engage, and to adjust based on what I saw. Next is intensity. Words with strong feeling carry weight. They can change the meaning of what you say. When your words are charged with emotion, belief, courage, love, understanding, awareness, they resonate. They touch people. Words infused with sympathy, concern, and genuine emotion reach the heart. If you put more of that into your communication, it'll have a profound effect. This is where true skill comes in. The ability to share not just what's on your mind, but what's in your heart. Let people see your feelings, your soul, your spirit. That kind of sharing creates a connection that goes beyond just words. Another important kind of sharing is sharing knowledge. You can make an incredible difference in someone's life with something as simple as recommending a book or a poem. Imagine this, you share a passage or an idea with someone and they come back to you and say, that made an impact on my life. I'm thinking differently now. I'm reaching for more. It doesn't take much to inspire someone. You don't need to speak to thousands of people to make a difference. A simple suggestion over breakfast can plant a seed that grows into something remarkable. And here's something unique about sharing. The more you pour out, the more capacity you create for yourself. Sharing isn't about giving something away and losing it. It's about giving and growing. When you share what you know and what you feel, you expand your own ability to receive more. That's how you grow in value in success, and in the richness of life. But remember, there's a price. For every promise, there's a price. If you want the rewards, the recognition, the satisfaction, the glory of a job well done, you've got to pay up front. Discipline comes first. That's the price. But here's the good news. Once you taste the rewards, once you feel the value of what you've built, the price no longer feels like a burden.